India crosses the landmark achievement of 37 crore vaccines being administered in its fight against COVID-19. More than 30.55 lakh vaccine doses have been administered in the last 24 hours. In Bihar, NDRF and SDRF teams engage in rescue and relief operations as 10 districts of the state are affected by flood waters. Relief camps and community kitchens set up in most affected areas. In international news, UN Security Council extends cross-border aid operation into Syria from Turkey for 12 months. India, while joining the consensus, reaffirms its commitment to Syrian-led, Syrian-owned, UN-facilitated political process. US President Joe Biden nominates LA Mayor Eric M. Garcetti as the new US envoy to India. Garcetti becomes the 26th ambassador to India. And in sports, defending champion Novak Djokovic to face Italy's Matteo Berrettini in the men's final. Ashleigh Barty faces Carolina Pliskova in the women's final in Wimbledon 2021. Good afternoon, welcome to the news. I'm Amritpal Singh. Well, our top story, Prime Minister Narendra Modi has just spoken today with the Prime Minister of Vietnam, Pham Minh Chinh. The Prime Minister congratulated the Vietnamese Prime Minister on his appointment as the Prime Minister of Vietnam and expressed confidence that India-Vietnam Comprehensive Strategic Partnership will continue to become stronger under his able guidance. Prime Minister Modi welcomed the fact that both countries share a similar vision of an open, inclusive, peaceful and rule-based Indian Ocean region. The Prime Minister also noted that both India and Vietnam were presently fellow members of the UN Security Council. The Prime Minister thanked Prime Minister Chin for the valuable support provided by the government and people of Vietnam during the second wave of COVID-19 pandemic in India. The leaders agreed that both countries should continue consultations and cooperation to support each other's continuing efforts against the pandemic. The leaders agreed that both countries should continue consultations and cooperation to support each other in its efforts against the pandemic. And to talk more about that, I have my colleague Arun Sharma joining us for more on that. Arun, give us the significance of the Prime Minister's call to the newly elected Vietnamese Prime Minister.
Amritpal, no, this is a very significant meeting between India and Vietnam, because we know this fact that both India and Vietnam are presently, fellow members, of the UN Security Council. So in that context, in that respect, this meeting was very much significant. Now what we're learning as of now, that Prime Minister Narendra Modi has welcomed the fact that both the countries, that means India and Vietnam, they have a similar vision as far as open and inclusive and of course a rule-based Indian Ocean region. So this is an important aspect to it. And when we talk about the India-Vietnam relationship, it was also reviewed as far as India-Vietnam Comprehensive Strategic Partnership is concerned. How can it be promoted further? How can regional stability be there? How can there be prosperity in the entire region? All these topics were discussed as far as the India-Vietnam meeting is concerned. Interestingly, Vietnam is also interested in the co-vaccine of India. But yes, it is looking for the WHO approval, that is World Health Organization's approval. After that, it has shown interest as well as far as procuring the co-vaccine as well from Indian side. So as far as vaccine is concerned, the vaccination aspect was also discussed as far as this conversation or meeting is concerned. We also know this fact, Amrit, that in December 2020, the then Prime Minister of Vietnam and Prime Minister Narendra Modi also held a virtual summit in December 2020. At that time, in this virtual summit, India handed over close to 12 high-speed guard boats to Vietnam. Now, this was under the $100 million defense line of credit that India has extended to Vietnam. And, you know, defense has emerged as one of the pillars of the relationship between India and Vietnam. So, yes, all these aspects were also, you know, discussed as far as this telephonic conversation is concerned. And we also know this fact, Amrit, that in 2022, now, this is going to be a very significant year because both India and Vietnam will, in the year 2022, will be marking the 50th anniversary of the establishment of diplomatic relationship. So it is very much expected, and both the sides have agreed that they'll celebrate this milestone, you know, by celebrating with various commemorative activities. So we can expect, because both India and Vietnam are completing 50 years of diplomatic ties. So this is going to be very much important. So the current counterpart of Prime Minister Narendra Modi in Vietnam, that is Pham Minh Chinh, the Prime Minister of Vietnam, and Prime Minister Modi held a very, you know, a conclusive or primarily a very significant meeting as far as this telephonic conversation is concerned. Amrit?
Okay. Arun, the Prime Minister welcomed the fact that both countries share the vision of an open, inclusive, rule-based order in the Indian Ocean region, and said that the India-Vietnam Comprehensive Strategic Partnership can promote regional stability. Given that India sees an increased role for itself in the Indo-Pacific and securing the sea lanes and the strategic implications of that in the region, does Vietnam figure as an important player in India's vision for the Indo-Pacific?
Absolutely, Amrit. We know this fact that India, you know, on every international forum, so the multilateral or bilateral forum, is talking about, when we talk about the Indian Ocean region, India is talking about the open, inclusive, peaceful and rule-based Indian Ocean region. And when Vietnam is talking about that aspect, yes, you know, Vietnam really figures out, and all the, any democracy, any country that talks about the free, open, inclusive and peaceful and rule-based Indian Ocean region, that of course figures out as far as Vietnam is, as far as any country is concerned. So in that context, when we talk about the Indian Ocean region, recently the Quad meeting that was held recently, at that point in time also, this point of Indian Ocean region was raised by various other countries and the stakeholders as well. At that point in time also, it was discussed that there is a need for open, inclusive, peaceful and rule-based Indian Ocean region. And when Vietnam and both Vietnam and India talking about this aspect, yes, this figures out. I mean, Vietnam really figures out as far as India is concerned. Amrit?
Okay, and as India takes over the presidency of the Security Council, it, you know, Vietnam also is co-terminus with India on the Security Council. What sort of cooperation could we expect between the two countries, or collaboration we could expect between the two countries at the Security Council?
Well, we know this fact, Amrit, that both India and Vietnam, you know, when we talk about we know this fact that presently both India and Vietnam are fellow members as far as UN Security Council is concerned. And this is going to be very much significant because when we talk about the extremist activities, the terrorist activities, you know, and Prime Minister Narendra Modi has also on various multilateral platforms has raised this issue about terrorism. And of course, there has to be collaborative approach as far as fighting against terrorism is concerned. When we talk about security aspect, when India and Vietnam, they both are on the same page, and when they are, you know, chairing this Security Council or the UN Security Council, it is very much significant. And all the points were discussed as to, you know, what can be the further role of both India and Vietnam as far as the UNSC is concerned. So in that context, this meeting was also very much significant. Amrit?
All right, Arun, thank you very much for that update, and thank you for joining us for the moment. And India has crossed yet another milestone in the COVID vaccination drive as the total vaccination coverage has crossed the 37 crore mark. Union Health Ministry has termed it as India's landmark achievement in the fight against COVID-19. Cumulatively, 37.21 crore beneficiaries have been vaccinated so far. The phase of universalization of COVID-19 vaccination commenced from the 21st of June. More than 30.55 lakh vaccine doses have been administered on Friday. Over 19.5 lakh vaccine doses were administered as first dose and 11.05 lakh vaccine doses were given as second dose in the age group of 18 to 44 years on the 175th day of the vaccination drive, that is on Friday yesterday. And India continues to see a steady decline in the new daily COVID-19 cases. In the last 24 hours, 42,766 new cases were reported in the country. Less than 50,000 daily new cases have been reported since the 13 continuous days. With this, the country's active caseload now stands at 4,55,033. Active cases now are only 1.48% of the country's total positive cases. Recoveries are showing a sustained increasing trend. As many as 45,254 patients have recovered during the last 24 hours. So far, total of 2,99,33,538 patients have recovered across the country. India's recovery rate has now increased to 97.2%, while on one side testing capacity has been enhanced across the country. A continued decline in weekly cases positivity is noted. Weekly positivity rate is currently at 2.34%, while the daily positivity rate stands at 2.19% today. The daily positivity rate has remained less than 3% for 19 consecutive days and remained below 5% for 33 consecutive days now. And testing for COVID-19 has substantially ramped up in India, according to the Indian Council of Medical Research. 19,55,225 samples were tested for COVID-19 on Friday. So far, a total of 42,90,41,970 samples have been tested across the country so far. In Kerala, the Zika virus confirmed cases rose to 14 as 13 more samples were confirmed on Friday. The state is on high alert. On Friday, 13 more cases have been confirmed in Kerala as the Zika infection takes the total cases in the state to 14. All 13 are health workers in a private hospital. The first case of contraction of Zika virus was confirmed in the state on Thursday. As per statement by the State Health Minister, action plan has been drawn by state health authorities for control and surveillance of the disease with stakeholders from multiple departments. Priority has been accorded to affected areas and hospitals where cases are reported so far. Mosquito control measures are also being taken on a war footing. As the infection affects pregnant women badly, those with 5 months pregnancy or below will be tested for Zika if they report symptoms like fever. Hospitals have been directed to up their alert level and lab facilities for detecting the Zika virus. Meanwhile, the centre is dispatching 6-member health expert team to Kerala to monitor and support the state government in terms of management of the infection. And in Kerala, a weekend lockdown has come into force across the state today. Despite rainfall, police have been deployed on roads for strict compliance of lockdown rules. Market across the state will remain closed till Monday morning. Kerala government had earlier ordered complete lockdown on weekends in a bid to contain the spread of COVID-19. The state has registered a hike of over 2,900 COVID-19 cases in the last 24 hours, taking the cumulative data to cross 1,35,000. In Gujarat, the night curfew has been lifted in 10 out of 18 urban areas amid a sharp drop in daily new COVID-19 cases in the state. From today onwards till the 20th of July, the night curfew will be in force in only 8 major cities. They are Ahmedabad, Surat, Rajkot, Vadodara, Bhavnagar, Jamnagar, Junagadh and Gandhinagar. The decision to lift the COVID-19 curfew in 10 other cities was taken by State Chief Minister Vijay Rupani after reviewing the situation. Thus, there will be no curfew at night in Bhuj, Morbi, Patan, Mehsana, Bharuch, Navsari, Valsad, Ankleshwar, Vapi and Gandhidham. The Tripura government has also reimposed a weekend curfew beginning from today in a bid to break the chain of COVID-19. However, there will be no restrictions on movement of vehicles for essential commodities and for medical purposes. The weekend curfew will end on 6 a.m. on Monday. Amid the state of Uttarakhand witnessing an influx of tourists as it reopens after COVID-19 induced closure, the state government has now issued new COVID-19 guidelines. The government has capped the hotel occupancy in Nainital and Dehradun to 50%. Uttarakhand's Chief Minister Pushkar Singh Dhami said that challans are being issued in the state for not wearing masks. He added that the government is making every possible effort to contain the spread of COVID-19. The flood situation has worsened in some districts of Bihar. In view of this, the number of relief camps and community kitchens has also been increased, and relief and rescue operations are being carried out on large scale. In Samastipur, the water level of the Budhi Gandak river has crossed the danger mark, due to which the flood water has entered more than 500 houses situated near the embankment at various places, including Dharampur, Petiagachi and Magardahi Ghat in the city. People are migrating to higher places with their belongings. Incessant rain has breached many guide embankments in West Champaran district. Sugarcane crop has submerged in flood water. A pillar of Gautam Buddha bridge on the Gandak river has got broken. The water of the Masan river is entering Ramrekha river through canals due to the breach in the guide embankment. Due to rising water level in Gandak river, the villagers in many places are migrating to higher places. Yesterday, 2,66,000 cusecs of water was discharged from the Valmiki Gandak barrage. The situation has worsened in Sikandarpur block of Muzaffarpur, where the water of the Budhi Gandak river has caused a lot of destruction. During the last 24 hours, Gopalganj has recorded the highest rainfall of 85 millimeters. 12 teams of the NDRF and SDRF are engaged in rescue and relief operations in 10 districts of the state. Relief camps and community kitchens are being run in the most affected areas. The Union Public Service Commission, or the UPSC, has given an opportunity to applicants of Civil Services Preliminary Examination 2021, including the Indian Forest Service Pre-Examination 2021, to submit their revised choice of centre. The window of submitting the revised choice of centres will be operational in 2 phases, that is from 12th to the 19th of July up to 6 p.m. and the 26th to 30th of July up to 6 p.m. UPSC has said that the requests of candidates for change in the centres will be considered against the capacity intimated by the centres for accommodating the candidates. This Enforcement Directorate will interrogate sacked Mumbai police official Sachin Vase in connection with the alleged corruption case lodged against the former State Home Minister Anil Deshmukh. A special court has granted permission to the ED to visit Vase and record his statement in the jail. It may be recalled that on May 19th, Vase had claimed to the ED that he had collected 4.7 crore rupees from bars in Mumbai between December 2020 to February 2021, allegedly on Deshmukh's orders. Vase said that he later handed over the amount to ex-minister's PA Kundan Shinde, who is now arrested in the same case, along with another PA, Sanjeev Palande. External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar today met the Indian community representatives from Sonori Khaketi. The External Affairs Minister also congratulated the Pravasi Bharatiya Samman awardee Darpan Prasha. Later, the External Affairs Minister will hold bilateral meeting with his Georgian counterpart, covering various aspects of the bilateral relations as well as exchange views on issues of regional and global interest. Earlier, Dr. Jaishankar began an official visit to Georgia yesterday by handing over a holy relic of the Ketevan, the martyr, a 17th century queen of Kakheti in Kakheti region, revered as a saint by the Georgian Orthodox Church. That was found in the relic which was found in India. In international news, the United Nations Security Council on Friday extended a cross-border aid operation into Syria from Turkey that ensures UN aid access to millions of Syrians for 12 months. The Council reached the agreement to extend activity at the only border crossing through which humanitarian aid reaches the rebel-held region of northwest Syria after Russia agreed to a compromise in the last-minute talks with the United States. The US and Russia came together to put forward the compromised resolution supported by Ireland and Norway, which hold the file on Syria's humanitarian situation in the Council and have guided months of negotiations. The resolution reauthorizes the use of Bab al-Hawa, the crossing point, for another 6 months. It was due to expire on Saturday. It will then automatically be renewed for 6 more months until July 2022. The UN Secretary General also instructed to report to the Council on the aid operation in January. More than 3.4 million people live in the area outside the government-controlled service by 1,008 trucks that cross through Bab al-Hawa each month. Friday's vote was the first time since 2016 that the Council was able to unanimously reach a decision on extending the cross-border aid operation. India, while joining the consensus on the United Nations Security Council Syrian humanitarian resolution on Friday, reaffirmed its commitment to the Syrian-led, Syrian-owned, UN-facilitated political process. The permanent representative of India to the United Nations, T.S. Tirumurti, while explaining India's vote on Syria, said that India firmly believes that long-term security and stability of the region can only be achieved by preserving the sovereignty and territorial integrity of Syria.
Decade-long violence and terror has caused devastating impact on the lives of Syrians. Syria, which was the fulcrum of Arab culture and a leading voice in the region, is now facing a precarious situation. India has been calling for enhanced and effective humanitarian assistance to all Syrians throughout the country, without discrimination, politicization, or preconditions. Today's adoption, therefore, will reassure 3.4 million people in northwest Syria. We also need to reflect on the humanitarian situation not just in northwest, but also on the rest of the territory of Syria. India firmly believes that long-term security and stability of this region can only be achieved by preserving the sovereignty and territorial integrity of Syria. We are deeply concerned with the involvement of external actors in Syria, which is making the situation worse. We also remain convinced that there can be no military solution to the Syrian conflict, and we reaffirm our commitment to advancing a Syrian-led and a Syrian-owned UN-facilitated political process in line with UN Security Council Resolution 2254.
U.S. President Joe Biden has nominated Los Angeles Mayor Eric Garcetti as his ambassador to India. If confirmed by the Senate, Garcetti would replace Kenneth Juster, who served as India's ambassador to the U.S. during the Trump administration. Early this week, Juster was appointed as Distinguished Fellow at the Council of Foreign Relations. Garcetti has been the mayor of Los Angeles since 2013, following 12 years as a member of the City Council, including 6 as Council President. He is the current chair of the C40 Cities, a network of 97 of the world's biggest cities taking climate action, and has led the organization's engagement and expansion in India, as well as C40's global response to the COVID pandemic through sharing of best practices and resources. Colombia will be sending law enforcement and intelligence officials to help Haiti follow the assassination of President Jovenel Moïse and arrests of their nationals by Haitian authorities. Colombian President Ivan Duque on Friday said that the head of National Intelligence Directorate and the Intelligence Director for the National Police will also travel to Haiti with Interpol to assist in the investigations. The assassination of Moïse, a 53-year-old former businessman, drew international outcry and pitched Haiti deeper into a political crisis. Police in Haiti said that the assassination was carried out by a squad of 26 Colombian and 2 Haitian-American mercenaries. Authorities are still hunting for the masterminds behind the operation. And meanwhile, in response to the Haitian government, the U.S. will send senior officials from the FBI and Department of Homeland Security to Port-au-Prince to help after the assassination of President Moïse and assess the situation.
In response to the Haitian government's request for security and investigative assistance, we will be sending senior FBI and DHS officials to Port-au-Prince as soon as possible to assess the situation and how we may be able to assist. Our assistance is to help the people of Haiti and to help them get through what is a very challenging time and has long been, even before the assassination of the president. So the investigation is not going to impact the assistance we're providing to the people of Haiti.
Well, let's now take a look at updates on the situation of COVID-19 from across the world. Well, the virus has affected over 18 crore 68 lakh people worldwide, while the number of recoveries stand at above 17 crore 9 lakh. So far, it has claimed more than 40 lakh 35,000 lives globally. The US continues to remain worst affected from COVID-19, with the number of cases crossing 3 crore 47 lakh. The number of fatalities from the virus stands at above 6 lakh 22,000. We're talking about tennis now. Novak Djokovic reached his 30th Grand Slam final on Friday with straight set wins over Canada's Denis Shapovalov to move again one victory away from the 6th Wimbledon title and record equaling 20th major. World number 1 triumphed 7-6, 7-5, 7-5 in a 10th semi-final in which he crucially saved 10 of 11 break points. In his 7th Wimbledon final, Djokovic will face Matteo Berrettini after the world number 9 became the first Italian to reach a Wimbledon singles final by beating Hubert Hurkacz 6-3, 6-0, 6-7, 6-4. And in the women's final, world number 1 Ashley Barty faces 8-seeded Carolina Pliskova in the Wimbledon 2021 women's singles final at the All England Club in London. Moving on to the grass court, Barty became the first Australian woman to reach the finals at Wimbledon since 1980, when Yvonne Goolagong took home the silver plate. Both women were thoroughly tested in their respective semi-final matches, as Barty had to fend off a second set comeback from former champion Angelique Kerber to claim a 6-3, 7-6 win, while Pliskova survived a 3-set battle against a second seed Aryna Sabalenka for a 5-7, 6-4, 6-4 victory. The pair have met 6 times so far in their careers, with Barty holding an advantage with 4 wins, including the most recent quarter-final meeting earlier this year at the Stuttgart Open, which the Australian went on to win. Barty also has 1 doubles win over Pliskova. And that's it in the news for the moment. Thanks for watching. Namaskar.